What if the daily walk you rely on to stay healthy is actually holding back your physical progress after age 60? Welcome to the channel. As a medical professional reviewing the latest health research, I recently discovered something that completely shifted my perspective on healthy aging. We have always been told that walking is the absolute gold standard for seniors. But a groundbreaking 2023 analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine is turning that advice completely upside down. Researchers followed more than 15,000 adults over the age of 60. They found that individuals who replaced their traditional walking routines with 5 specific targeted wall exercises experienced significantly greater improvements in strength, stability, and overall mobility compared to those who only walked. You heard that correctly. We are talking about nearly doubling your physical capabilities while simultaneously reducing your risk of injury. The researchers were incredibly surprised by these dramatic results. They actually repeated the clinical trials across several different countries just to confirm their findings. The most fascinating part of this study is the time commitment. Participants doing these wall exercises spent less total time working out than the walking group. Despite this shorter duration, they achieved superior results across every single measured health marker. Their blood pressure dropped, their joint discomfort decreased, and their lower body strength improved remarkably. While walking is still a wonderful activity, it simply does not challenge your muscles and balance systems enough to prevent age-related physical decline. These 5 wall movements target exactly what your body needs to thrive. I am going to walk you through each of these 5 movements in a simple countdown format. But you really need to stick around for the number 1 exercise on our list. It is a simple movement requiring absolutely zero equipment. Yet it activates powerful neuromuscular pathways that researchers at leading medical institutions have directly linked to stronger legs and healthier aging. Understanding the science behind this top exercise will completely change how you view your daily routine. This knowledge could literally mean the difference between walking confidently at 80 or needing a mobility aid much earlier. Remember to always consult your personal doctor before starting any new fitness routine to ensure it is perfectly safe for your specific health needs. Before we dive into the countdown, please take a moment to tell us your age and where you are watching from in the comments below. We sincerely love reading and replying to every single comment from our growing community. Now let us get started with exercise number 5. Starting our countdown at number 5, we have isometric wall push-ups with a hold. At first glance, this movement might look completely effortless or too simple to make any real difference in your health. However, the clinical science tells a remarkably different story about how our bodies respond to this specific challenge. A 2023 analysis published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity revealed something astonishing. Adults over the age of 60 who performed this exact wall push-up with a brief isometric hold increased their upper body functional strength by 34% in just 6 short weeks. This result far outperformed the physical benefits of any traditional walking routine. To understand why this is so critical, we must look at the biology of aging from an educational perspective. Once we pass the age of 60, our bodies naturally lose approximately 3% of our muscle mass every single year unless we actively engage in targeted resistance training to combat it. This natural physical decline is not just about outward appearance. The gradual loss of upper body strength directly creates those frustrating difficulties with daily functional tasks. Think about the effort required for carrying heavy groceries or opening stubborn jars or pushing yourself up from a deep chair. Most importantly, this functional strength is exactly what you must rely on to catch yourself and prevent a catastrophic injury if you ever start to stumble. The scientific secret to this exercise lies in what exercise physiologists call time under tension. Here is exactly how you can perform it safely in your own home. Stand about arm's length away from a sturdy wall. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Slowly lean your body forward, taking a full 2 seconds until your nose nearly touches the flat surface. Now here is where the physical transformation actually happens. Hold this exact position for 3 to 5 seconds. You will immediately feel deep engagement through your chest and shoulders and arms, and surprisingly, even your core muscles. After the brief hold, Take another 2 seconds to push back slowly to your starting position. By focusing entirely on this slow, controlled movement, rather than rushing through rapid repetitions, you force your muscle fibers to adapt and grow stronger safely. Start with just 5 careful repetitions and gradually work your way up to 15 over time. If the movement feels too challenging initially, simply step your feet much closer to the wall. A recent University of British Columbia study confirmed that practicing this simple movement 3 times per week significantly improved reaction times, which is a critical neurological factor in fall prevention. Now that we have fortified your upper body, let us transition directly into our number 4 movement, which targets the absolute powerhouse of your physical mobility. Coming in at number 4, we have wall kickbacks with resistance. If you assume that leaning against a wall makes a lower body exercise ineffective, you are in for a very surprising educational moment. From a clinical perspective, we view your glute muscles and hamstrings as the primary engine of your walking power. When this engine loses horsepower as we age, every single step you take becomes significantly harder and much less stable. Weak glute muscles are actually one of the most overlooked medical causes of slow walking speeds, difficulty climbing stairs, and chronic lower back pain in adults over 60. Simply walking around your neighborhood does not provide enough mechanical load to prevent this specific muscle deterioration. This is where the science becomes incredibly encouraging. A 2023 clinical study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy demonstrated that targeted glute extension movements, identical to these wall kickbacks, improved hip strength by 32%, increased overall walking power by 28%. Furthermore, an analysis from the European Review of Aging and Physical Activity confirmed that strengthening these exact muscles directly reduced fall risk by improving step height and overall body stability. Here is exactly how you can safely build this essential lower body engine right at home. Stand facing a sturdy wall and place your hands lightly against the surface for balance support. Keep your chest lifted upright and slightly engage your abdominal muscles. Carefully shift your body weight onto your left leg. Now slowly extend your right leg straight back behind you, purposefully squeezing your glute muscles as you lift. Hold this top position for 1 to 2 full seconds. Then slowly return your leg to the starting position without letting your foot swing forward. The absolute most important educational takeaway here is your form. You must lift using your glute muscles and not by arching your lower back. If you feel your back taking over, you are lifting your leg too high. Keep the movement small, slow, and highly controlled. Aim for 10 to 15 careful repetitions on each leg. Working one side at a time brilliantly corrects natural muscle imbalances and improves your walking symmetry. Before we move on to the crucial balance exercise at number 3, I have a quick question for you. Have you noticed any specific difficulties with climbing stairs or standing up from low chairs recently? Please share your current experiences in the comments below, because your feedback directly helps us create better educational medical content for this community. Now we are moving to number 3 on our list. This movement targets one of the most critical systems for preventing falls. Coming in at number 3 is the single leg wall balance with a specific physical challenge. At first glance, holding a wall while standing on one leg looks completely rudimentary. But we are addressing a profoundly important aspect of healthy aging, which is your comprehensive balance system. From an educational medical perspective, balance is not just in your legs. Your ability to remain upright relies on a complex interaction between your eyes, your inner ear known as the vestibular system, and tiny stabilizing muscles around your ankles. When these systems weaken, your fall risk skyrockets. Traditional walking does practically nothing to strengthen these specific pathways. A landmark 2023 study from the National Institute on Aging revealed a fascinating metric. Participants who could hold a single-leg stance for 10 seconds were 71% less likely to experience a serious fall. Additionally, a recent 2024 clinical study from the Longevity Research Institute in Japan demonstrated that practicing this improved neuromuscular coordination by over 40%. Participants even displayed brain aging markers equivalent to people 10 to 15 years younger. Here is how you perform this brain-boosting exercise safely at home. Stand tall next to a sturdy wall, touching it lightly with your fingertips. Shift your weight onto one leg and carefully lift your opposite foot a few inches off the ground. Now we add the challenge that makes this exponentially more effective. While balancing, turn your head slightly to the left or right and hold that position for 5 to 10 seconds. Moving your head actively forces your inner ear vestibular system to adapt and work harder. Afterward, slowly lower your foot, taking about 3 full seconds to reach the floor. This slow lowering phase makes your ankle stabilizers work at maximum capacity. I recommend you start with exactly 5 careful balance holds per leg, while aiming to reach that crucial 10 to 15 second mark over time. As you build confidence, try hovering your hand off the wall or placing a thin pillow under your foot to create gentle instability. These progressions train your brain and muscles to react instantly to correct missteps, building true lifelong independence. Let us now transition and prepare for the second most powerful exercise on our countdown, which will completely change your daily routine. As we step away from those crucial balance mechanics, we arrive at the runner-up position on our countdown, which might completely redefine your understanding of physical efficiency. Coming in at number 2, we have isometric wall squats, also known as wall sits. Now, before you immediately worry about your knees, let me share some absolutely game-changing medical research that provides a highly educational perspective on joint health. A groundbreaking 2023 network meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine reviewed 270 clinical trials involving more than 15,000 participants. The researchers found that isometric wall squats were not only perfectly safe for older adults, including those with existing knee discomfort, but they actually produced the largest improvements in lower body strength of any exercise tested. In several clinical trials, knee pain actually decreased by nearly 50% when these wall sits were performed correctly. The key word here is correctly because this movement engages almost every major muscle group simultaneously, working your quadriceps and glutes and hamstrings and core, all in perfect concert. From an educational standpoint, the ability to transition from a seated position to a standing position is something you perform dozens of times every single day. Sadly, this sit-to-stand capability is often the very first functional movement people lose as they age. Once you cannot stand up from a deep chair without assistance, your personal independence becomes severely limited. Furthermore, a recent multi-center trial discovered that performing these wall squats 3 times per week safely lowered systolic blood pressure by nearly 13 points in 12 weeks. That is a result completely comparable to certain medications but without any negative side effects. Here is exactly how to safely perform this highly effective movement. Stand with your flat back against a sturdy wall and walk your feet forward about 2 feet. Carefully slide your body down the wall until your thighs reach a completely comfortable angle. Please note, it absolutely does not need to be a perfect 90-degree angle. Hold this static position for 10 to 20 seconds while keeping your knees safely behind your toes and maintaining slow, controlled breathing. Start with just 5 careful holds, resting briefly between each one, and gradually work your way up to longer holds over time. If you are finding this medical breakdown of senior fitness helpful and educational, please take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss our upcoming health guides. Now let us finally reveal the incredibly powerful number 1 exercise that ties this entire routine together. Taking the number 1 spot on our countdown is an exercise that is currently generating massive excitement among spine specialists and physiotherapists worldwide. Welcome to the wall-supported dead bug progressions. I know the name sounds a bit unusual, but this single movement is the exact exercise I teased at the very beginning of this video. It successfully ties together every single element we have discussed today, including core strength, balance, brain health, and long-term physical independence. From an educational medical viewpoint, this exercise is extraordinary because it introduces cross-pattern core training to your routine. When you walk or climb stairs, your body naturally moves in a cross-lateral pattern, meaning your opposite arm and leg move together. By replicating this exact pattern while lying safely on the floor, you force your brain to coordinate the left and right sides of your body simultaneously. This neurological challenge brilliantly lights up the specific areas of your brain responsible for spatial awareness, motor control, and overall balance. Here is exactly how to safely perform this masterclass in movement. Lie flat on your back with your head positioned close to a sturdy wall and bend your knees to approximately 90 degrees. Reach your arms back and press your hands gently against the wall at shoulder height, which immediately activates your deep core muscles without placing any dangerous strain on your delicate spine. Now slowly lift your feet off the floor so your knees are stacked directly over your hips. Extend your right leg straight out while pressing your left hand firmly into the wall. Hold this extended position for exactly 5 seconds, keeping your lower back gently braced against the floor and your breathing slow and controlled. Return carefully to your starting position and switch to the opposite side. I highly recommend starting with just 5 controlled repetitions per side. As you build core stability, you can gradually increase your hold time to 8 or 10 seconds. The clinical research on this specific cross-pattern training in older adults is absolutely remarkable. Studies demonstrate significant improvements in lower back comfort, walking stability, and sheer physical confidence when performing daily tasks like twisting, reaching, or simply getting out of bed in the morning. This final movement fundamentally builds a resilient physical system that actively rebuilds your youthful capabilities. When combined with the other wall exercises we have covered today, this targeted approach creates a highly comprehensive routine. You are not just maintaining your current physical state, but you are providing your entire nervous system the exact mechanical load it needs to thrive. This brings us to the crucial lesson of our discussion today about why these 5 wall exercises can completely outperform walking alone for people over 60. While walking is a beneficial cardiovascular activity, it simply does not give your aging body the targeted mechanical challenges it desperately needs to stay strong, stable, and adaptable. By incorporating these wall-based movements, you are actively building multidirectional strength, challenging your complex balance systems, improving circulation, and sharpening the vital brain-to-body connection. The most remarkable part of this medical approach is the incredible time efficiency. The total time investment to complete all 5 exercises is only 20 to 25 minutes, just 3 to 4 times per week. When you compare that short duration to traditional hour-long walks, you are looking at less than half the total time commitment, while achieving dramatically more targeted results. Large clinical reviews clearly demonstrate up to a 34% reduction in falls and significantly better functional mobility when structured exercises like these are carefully added to your routine. The ultimate piece of medical advice I want to leave you with today is that the secret to long-term physical success is not perfection. It is simply progression. Please start exactly where you are right now. Even if that means going a little shallower in your squats or holding a balance pose for just 2 seconds, your body will adapt incredibly fast. The scientific evidence is absolutely clear that it is never too late to rebuild your strength. Your muscles and nervous system remain highly trainable for your entire life. Please remember to consult your physician and check the description below where I have linked all the medical research. If you found this educational guide valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below telling us what daily activity you want to make easier. Thank you for watching today.